everyone, so this video is my end of January slash start of February updates. Over the past month, there's actually a lot of action going on with my plant, so I'd like to share that. So this is my Rhychorides Bangkok sunset. This leaf here is, or has grown quite a bit. I think for a very long time it was kind of just stuck here, but it's growing, so that's good. Also last time, I think I showed this root as a little nub that started to grow, but it's also growing as well, and it has a active root tip, so it's not going to stop growing anytime soon. So this is my Vanda cristata. Its one root is growing, and it's actually sticking to the mount now, which is nice. And I don't know if you can see, I think you can sort of see it there, but it has a new leaf that's starting to grow as well. So this is my Aerides houlletiana, and it has a new leaf starting. This is my Ascocentrum miniatum. It hasn't grown any new leaves, but this last leaf that it started growing is doing pretty well. It's grown quite a bit, so it's quite a bit longer now. This is my Aerides flabellata, and it has a new leaf starting. So this is my Aerides quinquevulnera. I changed the container to something more elegant, and just by doing that, it really elevates the way this plant looks, I think. Also, I've been trying, water culture with this, so I've been soaking it for 2 days, so Sunday, Monday, and then I emptied the vase, and I don't water it for the rest of the week until the next Sunday and Monday. So far, it's going okay. One issue I had with the vase is that the roots would be at the bottom, and because these leaves are kind of spread out or fanned out like that, it would kind of go like this, which I don't want. So what I did was I put a little tie here and a hook, so the plant is a bit elevated, so the leaves are less likely to get squished at the top. I think it should be a little bit higher actually, but I think for now it's fine. And this is my Vanda lamellata, and it has a new leaf growing there. This is my Phalaenopsis javanica, and it has a new root tip growing from the base of the stem there. I also think it's going to start a new leaf soon, because what I've noticed is that when the base of the latest leaf gets a little thick at the bottom, right there, it usually means there's going to be a new leaf coming, although I don't see anything at the top at the moment. This is my Masdevallia NOID. There's not much growth or activity happening other than a little bit of root growth, but I just want to say that I haven't seen new instances of scale on this plant. I have been spraying it with the horticultural oil, and the last time what I did was I removed I think it was dead scale with rubbing alcohol. So I haven't seen anything since, and I'm really hoping that's kind of like the end of that. So this is my LC Supersonic Striking Lip. The last time I showed this plant, I was saying that there was an eye here that was starting to grow, but there's actually an eye here that's actively growing, like it's getting bigger. There's another eye kind of in between, you can't see here, but there's one there, so there's 3 available eyes for growth, although I think maybe just the one will grow this spring. This is my RLC little Toshie, and its new growth is doing pretty well. It's nice and chubby. I think last week what I did was, as I was watering, I was cleaning all the leaves, and I accidentally broke the leaf off the pseudobulb, but I think it's okay. This is my Ionocidium Popcor Haruri. I think I showed this last time. It has a new growth in the middle, but last time it was tipped over, so I just unpotted it and repotted it so it's more upright. This is my Brassavola cucullata red form, and it has a new growth right there. Also, that one root seems to be growing pretty crazy out of the pot. So the flowers on my Oncidium Twinkle are fading, but it's growing a new growth at the bottom, right there. The latest growth on my Dendrobium antennatum cross is doing pretty well. Has a lot of roots that are coming out of it, so that's good. So this is my RLC Durigan 300 by 100. Not much growth happening, but the roots are growing like crazy. Or at least this specific root. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it when I eventually repot it. I obviously don't want to cut them off, but, well, I'm not going to cut them off. I just need to figure out what to do when I do repot it. This is my Vanda roeblingiana, and has a new leaf there. This is my Epidendrum Joseph Li. I really don't want this plant anymore. It's way too big, and the leaves on the latest cane are really deformed. So this is the part that's closest to the light. It kind of does this, and the leaves grow closer together and they're all pointing upwards. So I'm either going to give this plant away if anybody even wants it, or I'm just going to throw it in the garbage. I just kind of tired of looking at it, and I really don't want to take care of it anymore. So my Neofinetia falcata hakucho has root tips growing again, and also a new leaf in the middle there. This is my Trichosentrum albococcinum, and its latest growth is maturing really nicely. Also has a lot of new root growth. So it seems to be pretty happy with the way it's set up right now, so that's good. So last year, I had a Galeotia fimbriata that completely died and just didn't do well. But this year, I got a new growth, and it's right there. So the growth habit of this particular one is a little bit this way. So this part is a lot deeper than this part here. When I potted this up, I was careful not to put too much media around just so it could breathe, or not be too wet, I guess you can say. Also, when I'm watering this now, I'm being really careful not to bring the water all the way up to the top, because otherwise I would bury the new growth, which is what I don't want to do. But yeah, still not quite stable in the pot, as this hasn't grown any roots yet, but it's very promising, so I'm very happy with this. So the keikis on my Dendrobium formosum are pushing out roots, which is really nice, although I would like to see a new growth on the actual plant. That'd be nice. This is my Dendrobium draconis. There's not much activity at the top, but at the bottom, you can see there's really nice root growth. This is a recent root, and this one has grown all the way to the bottom here, so this is doing pretty well. So this is my Dendrobium cruentum, and it bloomed, yay! So I added some rock wool around the base of the plant, just to impart more humidity, because I noticed last time that any new growths were drying up, so I'm hoping this will prevent that from happening. I'm not really sure. I know that this guy is rotting, and I just pulled off a piece that was rotted, so I'm not sure what that means. I like to think it's doing okay because I see keikis growing on the side of the canes here, but at the same time, I haven't really seen any new root growth. I may need to unpot this and maybe just not do semi-hydro with this. I'm a little reluctant to do that because I've already repotted this so many times, but then again, I might really have to do that if it doesn't like this. So I'm going to be patient and wait first and see if there's any improvement, because sometimes you just need to wait and just be patient, but sometimes you really just have to change it, but we'll see. This is my Phalaenopsis cornu-cervi chatelade, and it has a new leaf growing there. So the latest growth on my Dendrobium Sherry Abe is going pretty strong. It was a bit more sideways, I think last time, so I had tied it up so that it'd grow more upwards. But then I noticed there was a dent where it bent. I think I was a bit too strong with staking it up, so I removed that, but nothing was damaged, and it seems to be doing pretty well, so that's good. This is my Bulbophyllum sulawesii. I think the last time I showed this plant, it was in bloom, and I believe there was another bud coming, but it just decided it's not going to bloom that bud, so 3 was the most I got out of this plant, which is pretty good considering this is my first ever Bulbophyllum, and I was able to get it to bloom, so I'm very happy. So this is my Neofinetia falcata kitsuamushi, and there's some activity at the bottom here. I believe that's a new growth. Before it was parallel to the fan, but it's rotated so it's more perpendicular. I don't think that's a flower spike. I do think it's a new growth. And just as well, this leaf has grown longer than the previous leaf, so that's pretty good. So this is my Masdevallia infracta, and in the past month, actually I think this started before this month, but this leaf right here, it actually grew, so it actually had a new leaf growth. This is my Cloecia Rebecca Northern Grapefruit Pink crossed with Catasetum cleburianum SVO, and it's starting a new growth. So that's very exciting. So the new growth on my Polycycnus barbata is doing pretty well. It looks nice and healthy. So this is my Rhychorides lamellata. Its new growth is coming along really nicely. And as you can see there, it's pushing out a new root tip from the bottom of the new growth, which is really good news. And also the old root has branched out with a new root tip, so that's good. This is my Dendrobium bellatilum, and it's pushing out a new bud there. This is my Paphinia rugosa. The last time I shared this, I was really disappointed with the death of 2 pseudobulbs, but I actually have 2 new growths coming on this guy, so this is very promising, so I'm very happy with this. So this is my Phalaenopsis NOID, the one with the sunset colors, and it looks like the buds are about to pop open. I did lose one right here. My cat was able to reach up and play with it, and then I lost a bud, so that kind of sucks. I don't think it's the best show, obviously. There's only like 3, and this little guy maybe 4, but I got it to bloom, so that's good. So this is my Sophronitis cernua, and this pseudobulb, I believe it is finished growing. I just want to show you the difference between this one and the previous ones. So as you can tell, the leaf on this one is quite small. The size of the pseudobulb is quite a bit larger than the previous ones. So I think that's a good sign that I've been taking probably decent care of it. There's an eye there. I'm hoping that one will actually grow into pseudobulb. So this is my Sanhopia gibbosa. The leaves are yellowing on the older pseudobulbs. It does have a new growth there. It's been there for a while, and it's kind of hasn't done much, but I think it's starting to grow now. So hopefully you see some improvements this spring. And this is my Gongora giba. I think I showed this last time. It has a new growth there. Hasn't really done much, but I think it will be fine as the weather warms up. So I did have some casualties over the past month. My CF Kingia fimbriata died. I haven't cleaned it up yet, but I just put it aside. So the same thing happened to this that happened to my Coryanthes speciosa. The pseudobulbs, they're not rotten per se, but they're all used up and dry. I'm not quite sure exactly why this happened. I know that in both cases they were in sphagnum moss, and then I transferred them to this combination of rockwool and leca, and then they just didn't do well. I mean, for this particular plant, it didn't do well from the beginning. It never had a really good growth habit. I had maybe one pseudobulb that did grow, but it wasn't as big as the previous ones, and all the new ones after that, they just they never really fully matured. Also, I don't know if changing the media really is the issue, only because I had other plants that were in sphagnum, like my Gongora, that I've transferred to rockwool, and that one is fine. So it's hard to really say like that was the reason, but that is the pattern I've noticed so far. I mean, I've only had 2 plants that died that were transferred from sphagnum to rockwool. Yeah, kind of sucks. From the photos I've seen, it's a very nice flower, but not this time for me. I think I would like to try this plant again, but I don't know if I'm going to get one again this year. I am running out of room, and I'm not sure if I have room for another one of these or if I want to get something else first. Another casualty I had is my Vanda testacea. As suspected, it was on its way out. I think the last time I showed the middle leaf just not doing well. Yeah, I threw it out. There's no way it was going to recover. I think it really did have a chance of doing well, and that was before, I don't know if you saw my past video, I don't remember when exactly, I think it was this summer. It had started a new root growth at the base of the stem, and that got eaten by a slug. So I think if that never happened, it was more likely to survive. Although I do think it's also the way I watered it. What I did was I just dunk it in a bucket and leave it there to soak. But because the plant is so small, it kind of floated sideways in the bucket, so the water would get in the crown. I did use tissue to dry it up, but perhaps that I wasn't able to get all the water out. Like maybe it went further down into the plant that I just didn't notice, so that it's possible that caused the problem. So that's my video for today, and also the Lunar New Year is coming, so I hope you guys have a very happy New Year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.